Yasmin was born in India to a Sikh family. They moved to America when she was a child. She didn't speak English, and unfortunately, because of her ethnicity, she was the brunt of cruel jokes from the other children.
I felt a sense of loss of control of my life, and I wanted to have control of my life. So I thought the more that I could get spiritual experience, the more I would be able to control my environment, and the more I would be able to control people. So I started getting into horoscopes. I started studying about psychics and witchcraft. I would begin to have demons, which I didn't know there were demons at the time, reveal themselves to me on a continual basis. And they would just speak to my spirit that I had been born for a purpose, and that purpose would be fulfilled.
As an adult, Yasmin was engrossed in the occult.
The experiences that I would have is I wouldn't be satisfied. It would just leave me just more empty. It didn't give me an answer. It gave me power and a sense of control, but there was no answer for me.
She met a man who was involved in the occult. He took her deeper into witchcraft.
I moved in with him, and we had quite an intense connection when it came to spirit and having the occult draw us together. In our house, we would have crystals, huge pictures of Ramses and Pharaoh all over.
When her birthday rolled around, she asked a friend for a Shirley MacLaine book. Her friend was a Christian.
So she gave me my present, and I opened it up, and it happened to be a Bible. So I said, "Oh, where's my book?" And she said, "Well, I wanted to show you something in the Bible." And she opened it up to Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 9 through 14. And God says that those that consult with familiar spirits or wizard or enchanters, or those that practice necromancy, and a whole list of things, he said that those things are an abomination to God. And those scriptures jumped out at me from the Bible, and they jumped off the pages, and they actually went right through my spirit. And I was convicted of sin for the first time in my life.
It seemed to Yasmin that everywhere she went, she met Christians.
I would ask him questions like, how does this Jesus come inside of you? I mean, what does it mean that you mean another man comes inside of you? What does this born again mean? What does saved mean? So I would ask questions, and even though I didn't understand them, I would still learn.
At home, her boyfriend became violent. Yasmin was also having vivid nightmares that kept her up at night. During this time, another Christian friend gave her a message.
She said that the man that I was living with was going to kill me if I didn't leave, and that the Spirit of the Lord told her that I must leave him immediately. When she spoke to me, I just started crying. It broke something in me, and I knew it was God, even though I didn't know God. So I packed all my bags, and I told my mom that I was moving to North Carolina.
She moved in with her brother, who invited her to church.
I walked into that church, and when the worship started, I began to weep and weep and weep uncontrollably during worship and singing songs, and I had no idea what was happening to me. And I felt how much God loved me, and he didn't hate me for all the things that I was doing in my past and all the abominations that I was practicing, and how much he wanted to reach out to me and be a father to me.
After going to church for a while, she made a decision.
And I looked up into heaven and I said, Jesus, I'm a sinner. I believe what people have said about you, that you're the Son of God, that you died on the cross for me and you died for my sins. I said, please forgive me and come inside of me and live in me and be the Lord and Savior of my life.
The change was almost instantaneous.
The next morning, all my bad dreams were gone. My torment was gone. Everything was gone. It was like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders, the weight of sin, the weight of deception. And I felt like I was alive for the first time in my life. I had a big bonfire, and I burned everything that I had, even the music, the books that I had, the objects that I had all over my walls, the pictures, the clothes, the jewelry. I had to break everything in my life and break those chains over my life.
Yasmin's life was on a new path.
It was really a pretty awesome walk with the Lord. I was thankful to the Lord for just opening my eyes so I could see. Instead of teaching people about the New Age, the Lord had me telling people how dangerous the New Age is.
She always loved to sing, and as she developed her voice, she knew it was a gift from God.
Come to Jesus, come home.
I love music because music is such a way that God speaks to our spirit, and God says that He inhabits the praises of His people. I see so many people, whether it's in the church or out of the church, that are so lonely and they're hurting and they're desperate. Jesus is the only one that can fill that void. The Lord really spared me from death, not just spiritual death, but physical death and emotional death. I could have lost my mind. I could have been eternally separated from God. So I thank God for His mercy and His love, that He loved me when I had nothing to offer Him.